Hello guys, we're back with episode 3 of our modded Tomb Kings campaign, playing etc. We have him up in Bretonia still. He is actually going after the Wood Elves. We dealt a pretty good blow to them. And, we are in range actually to take the Kingsglade. It doesn't have that strong of a garrison. Orion is not back yet, so that shouldn't be too terrible. Our army's full health, although we are losing Winds of Magic. Down on the south, we're still moving against the Vampire Count's Minor faction, but our lord, he's one of the mod lords, actually. He's doing pretty well so far, so we'll come and finish off them at Big R. Shouldn't be too bad. They haven't had any really amazing units. So just a couple of stuff that's pretty damaged already. If we auto-resolve it, we'll take medium casualties. I think I'm okay with that, because we're going to replace a lot of this stuff pretty soon anyway. We can subjugate him. Or raise it for more canopic jars, because we don't really get much money from... I think it's actually worth it to occupy it, and then we'll sell it. Because right now I'm more worried about money than I am canopic jars. Oh, he's still got an army over there too. Okay, that's another battle we can get out of that. Let's merge a bunch of these damaged spearmen, though. Should get not quite max. I should have kept him, probably. Let's get some more there. As long as Manfred doesn't declare war this turn, I don't think we'll be too bad. Let's look at diplomacy. He doesn't like us very much, but he's at war with 3 other factions. So hopefully that deters him enough to not declare war this turn, so we can kind of reorganize our forces down here, because he actually has some Graveguard and Cryptors. He has good stuff, along with heroes, so... We'll have to get some more chariots and some Tomb Guard pretty soon out there. Yeah, Bagar... Oh, I forgot. Bagar does have a pyramid. That is one of the things that has changed. Is that it is a more important settlement now with Agmuk's Tomb Kings extended. So we probably actually do want to hang on to this. Yeah, because it has a... Well, the pyramid of King Alcaldazar. What do we want to build for it right now? Probably just growth. That will... be nice to get some carry, and I'm going to do that one first. Because there's vampiric corruption here as well, which we don't want to deal with. So we'll try to get rid of that as soon as we can. We have access to some good spells. I'm not too worried about redline skills right now. Let's go for... Start to get like Vinkai's Revenge. So he has access to the lore of the deep. So getting some nice spells like this will help us deal with more elite infantry. Alright, let's look at Cetra. Let's take the Kingsglade. Which will be nice if we do it right now, because that means we don't have to deal with any attrition over the interim, but we are definitely going to have to fight this. Not too much range fire, actually. The garrison has more melee, and the reinforcing army has dryads, which are a little bit more of an issue, but we should be able to deal with it without too much of a problem. We dealt Orion, now we're taking Orion's home turf. We're at the Kingsglade, his starting province. Is being led by the Spellweaver of the Lore of Dark spells. Oh, that's something I forgot about. Some of the mods is that gives access to the Lore of Dark for the Wood Elves. But second army coming in with the Glade Lord, some Dryads, and Glade Guard. But the garrison is not too shabby, actually. It had, I think, 2 units from the Lord. But we're going to try to push in with our characters as fast as we can and get into the back line. Shut down some of these archers. Unfortunately for us, though, these are Eternal Guards, so I didn't want to stay in there too long with the Tomb Prince. We'll get Cetra in there and then use the Wrath of Petra to break the formation. Hopefully it lets us push through with both of our characters and get into the archers in the back, because we do not want to stay there long term. We split our forces up 2 different ways. This one's going to go up that avenue. This one's going to circle, come up here. But our chariots have spotted their first target, the War Dancers. Pretty dangerous unit if they get on infantry, but their high weapon strength and bonuses infantry is not going to help very well against chariots, because we actually have a pretty decent amount of armor on them, 80 armor. So Cetra and our Team Prince managed to push in, get into the back along with the carrying coming to help. Blade Guard won't do too well against all this stuff. The carrying can do pretty well. They have flaming attacks, magic attacks, high armor piercing. Not a big deal right now, but we'll find a better target for them. They'll be really good against strides if we get them in the right engagement. But what else? Have managed to put up some of the barriers before we can get across. So we're just trying to get through them as soon as we can. So let's just attack them. Over on this flank, though, a lot of our infantry's coming in, but because these barriers are proving to be a big issue, we're going to send Cetra and our Team Prince up, capture that control point. But the calf leading the assault on this side, while the rest of our forces kind of move up. Have our Casket of Souls trying to reposition so we can get some shots off in the back, along with our Skeleton Archers. We're not going to put them in harm's way yet. We want to do our best to go after the targets that matter. The Chariots very quickly decimate these War Dancers. Like I said, this is just a terrible matchup for them. Even with the Shadow's Call, switching to their defensive stance for the extra melee defense, it doesn't matter against our massive charge bonus on the Chariots, so they're just going to get decimated. But carrying did take quite a bit of damage from the archers up here. I was not quite thinking about that. So that's not great. They took 3 losses. We want to keep them as healthy as possible because they do have a bombard ability called Death from Above. So it's very good. So we want to make sure we use that to the best effect. But yes. Cetra and our Tomb Prince capture the control point, clearing the way for the rest of our infantry to move in and start getting onto some of these other control points. A little bit hard to see because of the dark map, but pretty cool. Nick Half and his glowing staff right there. Lighting the way for our Tomb Kings. It's fine, they don't have eyes. Well, most of them don't. The mummies do, but the rest of them don't. So they don't need eyes to see, apparently. They're undead. But Skeletal Spearmen, along with some Nehekaran warriors trying to make their way up. And some other Tomb Guard. With the point being captured, I don't care if they recapture it because they can't rebuild anything on those control points, so we're fine with that. So, Cetra and them doing pretty well so far, but we're fighting a little bit of Dryads, and not something we want to get caught up for long, so we're casting as frequently as we can with Cetra to get that heal from the Restless Dead map wide. But our Tomb Prince is giving some nice support to Cetra. Cetra is getting Guardian from our Prince, which is very, very nice. That's one of the reasons we keep them around. But most of our infantry is starting to make the way up over here. These last little things of Eternal Guard still holding up pretty well against our units, though. Despite being surrounded, they've got very good combat stats, elves, so our numbers aren't going to help too much, but being surrounded, we'll get through them a little bit faster. We have actually taken a little bit of damage from them, but moving up our archers and our Tomb Guard and all the stuff to help out. Our Tomb Prince, he really, really likes to take a lot of damage. They seem to target these two very frequently, so we'll try to keep those heals coming. But carrying the Flock of Dejaf, trying to get on these Glade Guard. There are some Eternal Guard nearby, but they are deciding to go after Cetra, which is fine. But our Chariots have come around the long way. Getting some shots off of that Spellweaver now. But we're trying to shut down a lot of these missile units. Might come for some rear charges on these Glade Guard, clear back there, because they're going after our Flock of Dejaf, which is getting very low. But yes, Casket of Souls. Very prime target right here, clumped up infantry. None of ours at risk yet, so that's exactly what we want to hit with him. And there's our last cast of the Wrath of Petra. Try to get Cetra out of the middle of these Eternal Guard while our Casket of Souls rains down screaming shots in the back. Chariot's almost out of ammo, but they've been doing pretty well so far. Eternal Guard trying to get on their backs, so Not going to keep them there too long. Fox and Jeff kind of running away. We lost 4 models. They're very low on HP relatively, so we do not want to stay there very long. But all these units eventually going to make their way up. Looks like because the Wood Elves are in territory where they can hide, we're losing targeting with them, so pathing is not putting us up there sometimes. But Archer's trying to put in some work now, shoot down those Eternal Guard. Skeleton Chariot's also got a really nice charge in the back, but Setcher has found his target. The Glade Lord will actually be able to put up a pretty decent fight. He has very good stats, great leadership for being an elf, but doesn't have too much armor. So Setcher's going to be able to do pretty well against him due to his high weapon strength. And the Tomb Prince coming over to help as well, but he's going to go after the Glade Guard since they're put some nice shots off on us. But a lot of our infantry coming in now. We have our Tomb Guard and our Chariots. Ooh. Still another unit back there. Getting some shots off with their Haggling Tips, the poison. Slowing our guys down, reducing their damage. Glade Lord actually holding that alright. Setcher's doing very well though. Getting that buff to himself for an extra 25% weapon strength. Let me get through this guy a little bit faster. Setcher did take, I think, 1 hit, but he's also getting shot still. But Chillwind coming down from the Spellweaver in the back. From Lore of Dark. Actually, a spell lore I really like. I like the Lore of Dark, especially once you get like Soul Sealer and stuff. But stuff finally making its way over. Casket of Souls. Big bombardment there on the Eternal Guard. Does hit some of our Spearmen, but I'm not too worried about them. Spearmen are very replaceable. Glade Guard finally goes down, or Glade Lord. Eternal Guard trying to come in and reinforce, but may not be in time. Their leadership is holding up, but just barely because of the second lords. This is pretty much the only unit that still has any health left, but we're targeting them down with our skeleton archers now. The Glade Lord will go down in just a second. So, nice little waystone right there, providing some light. A little bit of friendly fire there, but with our archers coming in, I decided it's kind of better to pull our guys back, so we're not hitting them with our arrows. But they finally break, and the settlement's ours. Not too bad. 217 kills in the Casket of Souls, did lots of work. Chariots, of course, always coming in handy. Setcher, 149 kills by himself. Wow. That's not even on a chariot yet. We definitely want to occupy it just so we get the replenishment, and we don't want to take Athel Lauren attrition, because it is pretty nasty. Hopefully we can actually make it to the Oak of Ages next turn. We hit level 10 though, yes. Saving up our points is paid off. Okay, so this gives here recruit rank for Tomb Princes, which we want to do because we'll get access to a couple more once we get this. So we definitely want that recruit rank. Get both of those. Okay, Conquer of the Past gives us control faction wide, which is really good for the Tomb Kings because it helps our growth. This just gives capacity for Tomb Guards, which we can't really recruit a lot of them at the moment. Although our other unit, our other lord down in Nehekara probably will be able to make use of this because we are able to recruit Tomb Guard there in a couple of turns. Look at the other ones first. Speed and charge bonus for the army, we don't care too much. Immortal King gives such a more physical resist, more charge bonus, and some nice abilities for chariots. We get our chariot at rank 18, so I'll probably get that a little bit later. Let's get the Tomb Guard capacity, and then let's get the faction-wide control. We have access to a lot of new Tomb Princes now. So let's make sure, name some of them after the channel members. We don't have a lord yet for Twisted Fate, but we'll get this Tomb Prince. I forgot to do that in our first 2 episodes. Oh, wrong click. Pick. How do you make that tomb key, Nick? Nick. We'll just start with Nick. Once I find a better one, we'll come back to it. And then we'll get a new one for... Such already has a Tomb Prince and Nakaf, so let's get some down here, actually. Okay, we have Wrathful, which is not bad for the bonus with infantry. Ambush success chance can be very nice, plus the poison. Ooh, bonuses for Tomb Scorpions. Let's try that one. We can get them at rank 7 too, which is kind of nuts. And then, which one do I like more? You can already get a bonus for infantry on the chariot, so let's just give you cunning. One of you is going to do training, then we're going to put all of our other points to connect with jars.
The land of the dead.
For you, actually, I'm going to do control as well, because the more control we have, the better our growth gets. I should have done that with this guy as well. But we'll do Prince.
Do not challenge me.
Signature. And Twisted Fate will do our next Lord. Yeah, I really hope they don't declare war right away, though. For this Tomb Prince, not worried about fire resist for now. Unless they have the Firebark Elders, which do have flaming attacks. They're pretty high regiment renown, so we probably don't have to face them right away. Not worried about this stuff as much because I'll probably sell it off, so let's just do Indomitable. Nakaf is already doing training. We can start to get some of his unique points now. So Sworn Bodyguard gives him 15% HP and a 15% ward save. Wow. Okay, that's level 10, level 12, level 12. Okay. So we'll get that one. That one's awesome. When do you get your chariot, by the way? Rank 10? Okay, not too far away. But Carcassonne, I forgot to switch this over though for the extra growth. We're going to save our money because Camry is going to be able to be upgraded in a little bit. 4 turns. And a lot of the buildings are expensive, especially once we start getting some of the pyramids. Pyramids are very expensive, so yeah. I'm not going to build up Carcassonne. I might just switch it over to... We're going to get a rebellion eventually, so I'm going to switch this actually over to this so we don't get a rebellion. Kingsglade. I could sell this to one of the other not Tomb Kings. What else? Unless we feel like conquering all of Athelorn. The climate's so bad it's not worth it. But they're really not going to like us once we take the Yoke of Ages. Wow, 1125 for that. This is 100 gold per turn. That's fine. That'll pay for itself pretty soon. Let's just do... We don't really need the replenishment. Let's do the extra movement range. And see how it goes. Yeah, please, Manfred, don't declare war this turn. I'm not ready. Hopefully he's just kind of trespassing through our territory to get to the guys up north. Because who do we want to go after? Now, once we wipe out this minor faction. Because Manfred is great because he has a lot of good territory for Nehekara. Like Bagar, Kasabar, and stuff have really nice landmarks. But one army... Okay, that's good. Yeah, a bunch of the settlement garrison dies. It's not bad. 200 isn't that much. I'm going to take the Canopic Jars. Oh, we get another battle out of him, too. Cool. Ah, we didn't make it to the Yoke of Ages before it got upgraded, though, so its garrison is going to be much stronger. Look in the south first, since we're up here a little bit more. Okay, we get our next army in 5 turns. You get Zanji's Black Shields. There's a lot of randoms over now, if you guys don't know. So the Higher Scorpion of Camry, this is the one I really want to show off. 60,000 gold, 6,000 canopic jars, and a lot of trading resources. It's really cool, though. We'll definitely try to do our best to get it as soon as possible. But we could also get the Golden Host of Marak, which I'm trying to remember what they do. So they get Nehekar and Wedge formation, which gives them increased leadership and melee attack and charge bonus, but increases their melee defense and missile block chance. I'm not sure I like that. What about Zanji's Black Shields? What do you get? You get the Phalanx formation, which is not bad. Is there something else I want to save canopic jars for? We can use them to rush construction. I may do that to get this to tier 3 like immediately. So we'll save jars for that reason. Let's get those Tomb Princes in. Before I take on Manfred, I think I want to go recruit some better units once these are done, because we can get some more chariots, we can get Tomb Guard. And there's Manfred himself. I'm going to bring you back into the city, though. You'll get more replenishment. Actually, no. We'll come out and we'll just go into channeling stands. I think that's more important. We don't really have anything valuable here, so I'm not worried about losing it. Let's put a point into Vankai's Revenge, and then I think we can start to go down blue or red lines after this. Did you get a lot of your stuff higher level? Yeah, level 20 for the most part. This one you get a level 10, but okay. Etc. Okay, on the Yoke of Ages, I think normally it has a unique battle map, but I'm not quite sure if we'll actually see it. I don't know if it has to be higher for that, but lots of Eternal Guards, some Dryads, War Dancers, which can be a problem, Deepwood Scouts as well, or Wildwood Rangers as well. The bonus of infantry and armor piercing, Treekin. If we auto-resolve it, we actually don't take any losses. We take medium casualties, but we're not near anything else. I'm actually okay just auto-resolving that. I don't think it's going to be a big setback. We'll heal quite a bit over the turn. Okay, in order to get... You have to control the Yoke of Ages, right, in order to not get Athelor attrition. You can't just raise it. So I believe we have to occupy it. Oh, this actually unlocks the technology as well. Cool. Okay, yeah. Immune to Athelor attrition for all armies. Ooh, growth in all provinces, income in all provinces. I didn't think about that. Very nice. We got some chariot stuff now, which is much better. What was the technology that got unlocked? Secrets of the Wood Elves? Azrai Secrets Uncovered? Weapon strength and fighting against elves, leadership against Wood Elves, master resistance against Wood Elves. Okay. It'd take forever to get that anyway, but... Okay, for such a now... Yeah, we'll worry about those in a little bit. I'm going to go for blue line skills so we can get some extra replenishment, canopic jars, and stuff like that. Plus the post-battle loot is very, very nice for the Tomb Kings. This give attrition suffered by defenders plus 35% and -5 enemy leadership. That's really, really nice. We'll do that one and finish off training. Okay, Tomb Prince. Okay, so we can start to get his dedication for one of the Nehekaran gods. I'm going to look up here first to decide which one I want. So Royal Lieutenant gives you hit points, melee attack. Oh, and it actually gives a formation attack for skeleton units in Tomb Guard. What does the formation attack also do? Or it's just a formation attack like Cathay. That's not a huge skill then. Gives him a bonus ability once he's on a chariot, which he is now. Occultist Priest, which gives Canopic Jars per turn, minus enemy winds of magic, mortuary cult crafting cost, minus 1%. That's actually really good for a lot of the later tier stuff. So we'll get that one actually. And then which god do we want to dedicate ourselves to? So Asaph gives us poison attacks, melee stats, and ambush success chance. Petra, you kind of have to go Petra with Cetra though, since he is the champion of Petra. Well, he venerates all the gods, but Petra has a couple of his items. So this gives hit points, minus corruption, leadership, and flaming attacks. Geheb is the Great Lion. Hit points, minus attrition for the army, weapon strength. Usirian is really cool for Cetra too. Cetra in-game does not have his item called the Scarabrouch, but basically on the tabletop, it actually made him immune to magic, which is like completely nuts how good that is. Hit points, battle healing cap is nice. Ward save and replenishment rate for the army. That's pretty good actually. That's a contender. Okay, Akath. Ambush defense chance, speed, charge bonus, and judgment of Akath gives you damage and melee attack with more kills. Kassar, the god of the desert, gives you movement range, speed. Ooh, you get a heal? Just passive regeneration. That's very nice, especially on a melee hero. With Strider, I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. Okay, Dijaf. More armor-piercing damage. You get 2 more uses of your Rampage ability. And it gets upgraded to reduce melee defense as well. Bast. Control, speed, melee defense, stock. Nehru, the moon goddess. Minus figure reduction, magical attacks, and physical resistance. That's also very good. Sakmet. Bonuses infantry, terror, and minus leadership for enemy armies. And there's a lot of good ones. Udlaft. Post-battle loot, plus 15%, Sundering attacks, melee defense, and Vanguard deployment. That sounds really good, especially the post-battle loot for Cetra is going to be amazing. And Sokoth. Post-battle chance of stealing an item, poison attacks, armor piercing, charge bonus. I actually want to go with this one for the post-battle loot. Like, Sundering attacks is really great. Extra melee defense on a chariot's fantastic. We'll see some of the other ones a little bit later. We can't recruit anything locally. Where do we go with Cetra after this? We could keep going into Bretonia, go after the Greenskins. You don't face Greenskins too much at Cetra. I'm gonna merge some of these skeletal spearmen. We can recruit some more in the Kingsglade next turn. Yeah, so we'll keep the Nehekaran warriors, but we'll merge all this stuff to get it as high as we can in case we get attacked. As Tomb Kings, as the Undead in general, I prefer to have less units that are full health than several units that are like half or low health. I think they perform much better in combat that way. You are going to keep moving that way. Oh, that's right. We have the Oak of Ages. I don't think it can have public order. Yeah, so we don't need to worry about that. Gives us more bonuses faction-wide. I think we want to do the extra movement range this turn, and then we'll switch this over to the income. Actually, no, it doesn't do anything because this is only locally. Okay, well, maybe we do this when we get the extra replenishment this turn, and it gives us recruit rank next turn. Do that one as well. Yeah, I think it'd be fun to fight greenskins, especially Grom the Paunch. Chariot versus Chariot. Get the Chariot of the Gods. He has his lucky axe. Or no, what is it? What is it called? His big axe and the lucky banner. I don't remember what his axe is called. I think it's just called Grom's axe, but I have a duel of the Chariot Lords. Okay, these guys all probably hate me though. But fighting them is going to be much harder because they start with full armies, so you can't take them easily as Orion. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about them for now. Let's see what our replenishment is like outside of the settlement. Okay, it's not that bad. I think I'd prefer going the extra distance this way than going into the settlement, because this isn't really making us any money anyway. So we want the recruit rank right now. Let's get... Oh, it takes 2 turns because of the climate. Crap, I forgot about that. Okay, well, we'll switch this to the extra movement range then. Camry, 2 more turns. We'll get you to 2 to 3.
My glory.
Okay, we can get some Tomb Guard. Yeah, we don't need so many spearmen. Let's take the lower level ones. And get what, like 2 archer chariots? We might be able to get rid of one of these guys. They're rank 2 though. Rank 3, rank 2. Okay, we'll get rid of you next turn, since we've already used all of our recruitment slots. Yeah, as soon as we have another army, we'll work on what's his face? Manfred. Let's just take a look at diplomacy though to see who does not like us, because that will give us a idea of who we need to worry about first. So of course we have Arkan the Black over here somewhere. Okay, Volkmar does not like us. That's understandable. Okay, nothing too much to worry about. It's pretty much the ones I thought we would have to deal with pretty soon. I'd really like to get Sehenizmet as soon as possible for that lord. He's really, really cool. And we're just too far away. I don't think we have a strong enough army to do Citrus Quest Battle anytime soon, since it's against like high tier chaos stuff. Oh, right. Seems like the Tomb Kings are still holding up pretty well. I expected this faction, so this is one of the mod factions that you can start as one of the legendary lords. I assumed Scarbrand would actually do much better, which it looks like Scarbrand's still pumping out a lot of corn corruption. They be at war with Weirdrioth. I don't want to deal with that right now. Technologies. I'm going to station you inside the city for a little bit because that helps boost the control. If we can get back up to here, we'll get some more growth. That would be nice. Okay, we can get Marble Quarry gives us Rush Construction Jar Cost. I like that, and that should be finished next turn as well for when we start doing Khemri. Very nice. As far as your army, yeah, we're gonna get rid of you. Let's get what? Tomb Guard and 2 more archers, I think. So let's get rid of 2 spearmen. That's a pretty good army by itself. Especially with the Tomb Guard, we should be able to take on some bigger tier vampire count stuff. Kasabar is a province capital, so it's going to be harder to take. We do have access to magic now in this army, so it's going to be a little bit easier. Okay. And Cetra. We'll go after the greenskins. Let's give you, against greenskins, we definitely want Nehekaran warriors for their bonus infantry. I think 3 archers is enough. Yeah, if we sell this to you guys, how much would you give me?
Consider yourself lucky that we didn't send you to parlay.
Yoke of Ages I want to give because I mean I want to keep because it has some nice
lucky that we didn't send you to parlay with the dryads.
It has some nice bonuses. Ooh, we could trade him the Kingsglade. He'd become our vassal. And we could get trade. Oh, we can't get a trade agreement right away. Wow, getting a vassal this early. That's a pretty good vassal, too. And he'll give us some money for it. Yeah.
It shall be done.
Yeah, Dirthu doesn't like that, though. Dirthu's going to be a problem. Because we don't really have any great anti-large yet. Besides, I guess like Cetra is pretty good, and the Tomb Guard can be pretty great as well, but Dirthu's just a menace. He's so hard to kill if you don't have like big anti-large missiles with armor piercing, which we don't have access to Ushapti Great Bows yet. And I don't remember, I know he has some really nice bound abilities, but I don't remember if he has like a Mortis Engine effect. Okay, Ground the Paunch, I was planning to go to war with you anyway, so no, we're going to decline that. Dirthu should like that though. Okay, oh, he's got a Wa at the moment though. Yeah. Let's see. Since you're a vassal, though, why are they taking attrition? Through desertion? They're just not making any money. That's funny.
Lord of the Glade, the woods of Athel-Loren welcome you.
Let's get that trade agreement
We
now.
have an accord.
It's another like 40 gold return just from tariffs, so. Land of the Dead, we're going to get you to tier 3. How much Canopic Jars does it cost? Costs 127. That's being reduced a little bit by that, so that's great. Let's get you to tier 3 right away. We don't have enough money to start building our pyramid yet, though. Probably, did I spend money on something else? I felt like I had enough money. Maybe it was just the amount we spent to get Camry up. Okay. Probably. Okay, so we need almost 6,000 to build the pyramid. We want to do this right away because it has some nice bonuses. So after a battle next turn, we should have enough.
Arise, legions.
Okay, it looks like Manfred is going after Volkmar, which may leave him a little bit open for us to attack him.
I shall take your advice.
And we'll be able to support down here with another army pretty soon.
Find my harem.
Which we can get a High Lich Priest if we want. I guess you have a caster already. Maybe we get like a caster of the Lord Nehekara, so we can get some healing that way. Let's see who's going to pay us the most, though.
Welcome. Behold my greatness. It is
He'll pay us 260.
come. Let our lich priests compare demands.
Pay
Meantime,
me
we shall hunt
519.
the living.
I expect probably Volkmar or you to pay me the most.
What are your terms?
You're worth a lot of people. Ooh, we could get a military. Actually, I don't care about military alliance. Because I'm going to confederate you later. Getting you as a vassal early would be nice, though. So if we go for a trade agreement and some money, give me 211. Okay, what about Volkmar?
I will scour.
He's got no army left.
From these lands, from all lands.
But they usually have more money. Yeah, that's probably worth it, actually. But he's probably going to get wiped out. So Kasabar is probably going to get, or Big R is probably going to be attacked. So we need to start building another army there. Ooh, that got us enough money, actually, to start building our... oh, we need growth surplus, so we can build it next turn. Okay. Let's upgrade this so we can get some Tomb Guard with halberds. We'll do this battle, and then we'll figure out... Oh, okay, there's no army here, though. That's fine. This is still pretty low tier, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, some Grave Guard, Black Knights, but it's no Vampire Lord, so it shouldn't be too bad. Especially now that we've got two Tomb Princes. They're anti-large, so they can deal with that stuff pretty easy. We have come to retake Kasabar, the City of Bronze. One of the very important Hekard cities in ancient times. In the Nagash trilogy, it actually has some cool lore. I'm not a great fan of the Nagash trilogy of novels, but Kasabar is pretty cool. So it has the Bronze Legion, which are basically like, they're almost like giants in that city. They have like hardened skin, which is pretty cool. So they were a cool unit, but we're going to take the city back from the Undead. Vampire Counts have occupied it for a while under the command of Manfred von Karnstein. We kind of split up our forces initially to draw some of them over into this side, so the Master Necromancer and some of the units kind of caught off guard, so we're going to focus our assault over here. We have our chariots going after the gates right away. If you guys don't know, chariots actually do a fair amount of damage to gates and get them down fairly quickly, so we're going to let our normal chariots do that while we send our chariots with missiles over to the far side. But after our little deception, we're pulling all of our forces back over here. Our skeleton spearmen are going to try to provide our front lines so we can keep our more important units a little bit healthier, like our Tomb Guard and our Nehekar warriors. Archers will get deranged to start to deal some shots to these Grave Guard and Crypt Ghouls. For the defense of the Vampire Counts, they have two things of Grave Guard, some Black Knights, and I think 2 units of Cryptors. But Cryptors are the big issue. If they can get chaff units in front, they're going to be very hard to kill if we can't get missiles on them. Due to their regeneration, they are very hard to kill. They do lots of damage, especially to low armor infantry like ours. They can do very, very well. So that's going to be our first priority once we have control of the gates and get our archers into position. But now that the chariots have done their work at getting the gate down, we're going to pull them back and send them along with our other guys over here to try to get some guys through the gates on that side so we can get around for some nice charges. But King Amenhotep leading the attack. He is on a skeletal steed right now, which is blasphemy. Tomb Kings do not ride horses in the lore, but we'll deal with it for now. We do have our 2 new Tomb Princes in this army, though, which can be very nice. They do have Guardians, so they'll be providing that to him if we can keep them close enough. He's coming in for a charge before these Graveguard get away. Nice little charge. You're going to get a few kills, but you can take some damage pretty quick if we're not careful. So yeah, we want to get those 2 Princes in to help as quickly as possible. One of them just has poison, which is very nice because that'll reduce their damage a little bit, but Felbat's coming in. All the units from the far side making the way over. Pretty slow though, another unit of Graveguard, Skeletal Spearmen, and stuff like that. Our Chariot's almost to the second gate. So right now it is just establishing our beachhead. We've moved up 2 of our Skeletal Spearmen. Try to capture the gate, get some momentum going, which I think we actually did get it, which is very nice. Our soul is still pretty low, no healing yet. But we didn't want to move on our more expensive infantry quite yet. We want the Skeleton Spearmen to soak up a lot of the charges and the initial damage from the Graveguard and things like that while we weaken them with archers and our 3 characters. You're going to see first use of Vangeheist's Revenge now that we have access to it in the Lore of the Deep with our Legendary Lord. Just going to decimate those units primarily though. We hit the Graveguard. Killed only about 1/4 of their models, but did 2/3 of their HP, so very, very good shot by us. Nice placement. But Graveguard's still going to do well against their Skeletal Spearmen. Like you can tell, they did lose a fair amount of health just going in for those for brief seconds, couple of minutes. But with the support of our characters now, they're going to do pretty well. The Graveguard have gotten severely weakened. Chariots almost through the gates on this side. They've sent some Skeletal Spearmen to kind of halt our advance, but it's not going to be fast enough. They're trying to put up some barriers right here, but I'm not actually worried about capturing this stuff right away. We're going to try to get through, sneak onto this point, and come around, get some of these units in the back, hopefully. We don't want to find the Spearmen right away, because they can be nasty if they get the charge defense. We do not want to do that with the Chariots, so we'll try to get them from both sides, so they don't get that charge reflection. But Black Knights have come to support. They're kind of sitting out the fight for now. Cryptors, though, coming in. Graveguard are just about dead. That discouraged leadership from our Tomb King actually doing great work at making sure they break. Take damage from disintegration and crumbling, but the Cryptors coming in now. Try to move in our archers, who they're coming in at the moment, and we'll get them up on the walls in just a second. Try to get some shots down. Cryptors are a really cool unit. In the lore, they're actually one of my favorites. So they're basically ghouls, which are basically humans that have become cannibals and feasted on dead flesh or warpstone tainted flesh. So they become like these monsters, but then Cryptors are given some vampiric blood. So they're not true vampires, but they're basically vampiric mutations, sort of like Varkheis. Well, not quite like Varkheis. Varkheis are vampires that have been mutated. These are creatures that have been given, mutated creatures that have been given them vampiric blood. So they're pretty cool, though. They're very, very interesting. But Black Knights decide not to come in for a charge over there. They see our units coming over on this side. Like, that's a juicier target, I think. But we'll try to pull through some of our characters and go after them in a little bit. So our Chariots have kind of done exactly what I wanted. We captured this point real fast. We'll have 4 of them. We'll come in for some nice charge against these Skeleton Warriors. No spears, so they're just going to get absolutely decimated by the Chariot charge. Graveguard coming in to try and reinforce, but we don't want to stay there too long. Look at these guys, man. They just lost so much HP so quickly. They're starting to crumble immediately. On the far side, characters moving up. We dealt with the Cryptors with our archers pretty quickly. And going after the control points with our other fast characters. Some zombies coming to slow us down a little bit. Trying to change direction back and forth. Skeletal Skids don't quite have the mass to push through dead infantry super well, but luckily we were able to slip right next to the side of the building. But Master Necromancer coming back that side. Our Chariots have been getting a good charge off on those initial Skeleton Warriors, but we don't really get caught by the grave guards, so we have these guys coming in for a rear charge over here. That absolutely decimate skeleton warriors. The rear charge. These are the archer variant, but they're trying to get this barrier up, which I think this is the slow one. And then minus melee attack. They should have gone for the leadership boost for themselves, but yeah, we're just cycle charging these Graveguard to death, these skeleton warriors. They just can't catch a break. In this front, our characters dealt with the Black Knights very quickly. I didn't quite catch it, but we had put up another Vingheist Revenge to decimate them with its high armor piercing, using it on the more valuable targets. So we'll capture this point and start moving after the Master Necromancer. No, the Master Necromancer. Those of you who are already familiar with the channel know that I don't have dyslexia, but it always seems like I do. Because when it comes to trying to read out stuff or say stuff out loud that I'm reading, I always say it, mix up some letters. That's kind of funny. But Chariot's doing loads of work, though. Not too many kills on these guys, only 31, but they've done lots of value actually going through this stuff. Most of the deaths, the vampire counts have actually been through crumbling, I believe. But the Master Necromancer doesn't even get into combat. I don't know if he was even close enough to get any spells off either, but with this last big charge, that may be enough to break the leadership of the garrison. Especially with our Tomb King coming in, who does have the ability to reduce enemy leadership with one of his skills. So Discouraged, negative 16 leadership drop. Really, really great. Garrison gives up. Master Necromancer didn't even get into combat. Settlement will be ours. Kasabar has been reclaimed for the Tomb Kings. Nehekara, once again, is under our control. For a siege battle, that went very well. We only lost 126 guys, and that was pretty much only after we captured the gate. Characters took a little bit of damage, but went pretty awesome, actually. Alright, Kasabar is a very good settlement, so we want to keep it. It has a pyramid, but it also has a Chimeric Titan statue, so this is one of the landmarks that lets you get a Chimeric Titan. But City of Bronze, actually, low tier landmark, also really good as well. But it has right now, it has extra growth at tier 2. I'll keep that. This lets me get some Nehekar horsemen and horse archers. I really don't like them. I prefer chariots much more than skirmish cavalry. That's my personal taste, but he gets another one of his items. The Claw of Ulapth gives him Flock of Carrion, something cool. And it gives the Hunger for Carrion. Ooh, that's very good. We need to make use of that. We can actually get some carrion here as well.
My will be done.
Yeah, let's probably just merge those spearmen since they're lower rank, and we'll get that carrion. But I don't think I need to go all the way for Arcane Conduit right now with you. Let's go Redline, since you actually have some better units. Tomb Guard stuff will be nice, because we're going to keep them pretty much the whole campaign. Your Tomb Prince, let's put points into Spread Control, like we talked about earlier. For this other one, let's do Conqueror. I really like taking leadership with heroes at the start, because Tomb King heroes are very fragile early on, especially like Necrotechs and stuff like that. Okay, we just need enough to get this next turn, so almost 6,000. Cetra can't quite make it there this turn, that's fine. We'll just move up in channeling stance. Ooh! That's bad. Basically an army and a half plus a little over an army's worth of Y units. Yeah, we definitely want to fight them here because it might give us a choke point battle. If it's a choke point battle, I think we can do it with the Casket of Souls. We don't have any damaging magic, unfortunately, yet. So I think that's definitely doable with Chariots and the Casket of Souls, though. So we'll look for our best. Well, we could try doing an ambush. Oh, never mind. We don't have quite enough movement range. Okay, that's fine then. So I was thinking about this, but I'm not too worried about it. It's good. Probably good intern for that. Yeah, we'll see if Cetra gets attacked over the intern. I think he will be. Hopefully they're able to recruit more. Because if we have to fall back, I think that's fine. I think we'll have enough movement range to escape. Oh, you're going to declare war. Oh, it's because you're friendly with Arcan. That's right. Okay. That shouldn't be a problem at the start because we're still inland, so they'd have to come ashore quite a bit. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of trolls too. Stone trolls especially. A lot of archers, and oh man, we just don't have. Is it a choke point battle though? It is a choke point battle. All right, we'll figure it out at the start of episode 4, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Warhammer. Have a great day.